Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Today, we are going to be working on the 80s house. I've decided to start that theme now, so we're going to be doing that. And it looks like we've got some good audio tonight, so that's really, really encouraging. Right, okay, so let me just get that sorted there. Right, okay, now we can start. So, yes, hello, people. Welcome to another live stream. This is House Flipper on the 11th of April. It's a late one. It has literally just gone 12 o'clock midnight, which means it is actually your boy's birthday. So to celebrate my birthday week, we are going to be doing House Flipper tonight, House Flipper tomorrow night, House Flipper Wednesday night, and then we got the Flawless and Tea Party chat show on Thursday, and then Vinyl Friday coming up Friday. But there will be extra surprises along the way, extra videos coming out this week that you do not want to miss. So be sure to be subscribed and put them notifications on. It don't cost anything. It's free. Join the Flawless family. Okay, so here we go. It is it's going to be really good. We're going to start on that. Okay, let me just. There we go. Okay, so yes, it's going to be a really good night tonight. Let's get into it and see if we can remember which house we bought. And hopefully we don't get any crashes. I don't need a birthday crash on House Flipper. Sometimes it does it now when you're actually playing the game. It's a right pain in the arse, but hopefully everything's going to be all right. So yeah, we're going to be doing a little bit of work on here tonight and then carrying on probably finishing it tomorrow night. And then there's new DLC out this week on birthday week, so that's good. So celebrate birthday week with me. Okay. So let's go into my home and see if I can remember what bloody house we bought, shall we? House in a Thicket, wasn't it? I'm sure it was the House in a Thicket, or was it the Man Cave? I can't remember. I think it was the House in a Thicket. Okay, House in a Thicket. We're going to go with it. Yes, because I said I had to clear that crap out of the way. That's it. It is this house. Because I moved that door, didn't I? That's it. So hard to remember sometimes what you've done on stream and what you haven't. So yeah, hopefully everything's going to be pretty cool with it. Yeah, here we are. We haven't done anything on the outside. Probably won't get a chance to do anything tomorrow, so we'll try and get most of inside done today, and then we'll get some done tomorrow as well, and just see where we sit with it. Right. So what have we got? We've got some rooms here. This got a double door. Why has that got a double door? Oh god, it goes round in a circle, look. Okay, that's a bit annoying. Is that a back door, perchance? Oh, fucking hell. Right, we'll get these cleaned up straight away. It's good we noticed the problem now. We might have to do a bit of building work in here because it's a confusing house. Might have to take some walls down before we get anywhere tonight with this. But isn't that the fun of it? Well, they appear to have all been deleted from existence, so let's take the doors out where we need. Right, so is that the back garden? That is the back garden. Okay, so we know that that's the back. Okay. It's so confusing. What we got in here? Right, okay. And up here. Okay, that's the garage. Right. Okay. Yeah, this is actually quite confusing, so I'm going to have to take some of this out. It's like all of this section here has got to come out. Not that wall, though. Okay. Well, instead of talking about it, let's get on with it. So I hope you guys have had a good day today. It's been not a bad day here. Looking forward to receiving whatever I'm going to receive when the morning properly starts, present-wise and stuff. Also, hope you enjoyed this week's Vinyl Friday, what went up last week. It was something a little bit different. You've got some more coming your way this week. So yeah, to celebrate birthday week, once again, join me because I'm going to be uploading streams and videos, so you get more streams this week. And you get extra videos as well. Now, we don't want to take that wall out, did we? No, so we've got to be careful here. But it looks like it's double layered. Let's have a look. I just want to see if it is double layered. No, it's not. Right, okay. But that could be pushed back a bit, actually, to make extra room. So I will take that out. In the chat, Mr. Tea Party Gaming is in. Hello, T. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. So, now Tea Party's in, I will explain once again what's going on this week. Okay, so you've got a live stream tonight. You probably have one around about the same sort of time tomorrow night. And then we're doing one on Wednesday this week. It'll probably be early Thursday morning, though. But then Thursday night, get ready for the Flawless and Tea Party chat show. 2 interesting subjects to talk about this week. We'll reveal what they are on Thursday when we go live. So look out for that, if you will. It'll be a fantastic night. And then we've got... we've just got epicness coming your way all week, really. There's going to be extra videos this week as well. Plus Vinyl Friday. What more could you possibly ask for? Okay, so we need to take this out here. As you've just joined us, T, let's bring you up to speed. We're doing the 80s themed house. Right, okay, so I could take that out now. And then we'll need to take these walls down. Yep. Okay, I know what I've got to do here. Right. One thing about this house, it's going to be... Well, it's going to be different, to say the very least, but also, you know, we've got to think about 80s style decor. A lot of people, when they think of the 80s, it's a misconception. It's like, oh, they think the 80s are just like neon and stuff. Yes, neon was massive in the 80s. But as an 80s kid, and remembering a little bit of them, I can safely say that it's not necessarily like that, really. Ooh, what do we want to do here? You know, a lot of the designs were actually kind of drab, to think about it, in the 80s. I wanted to push that wall right back, so I need to take this shit out, don't I? Fucking hell. Okay. If I push that back, then I've got to push that back. Because don't want this. Walk around the bloody circle. So we'll just go with it. Right. Get these walls knocked down. I think I know what I'm going to do, guys. I think I know what I'm going to do. Think I know. It might not work out, but we're going to give it a fucking go anyway, because that's what we do here at Flawless Rage 2. We don't fuck around. Okay. Yes, just in case you guys out there are wondering, the reason you're getting late streams this week, obviously children are off school this week, and therefore I'm spending a bit of time with my other half, so she hasn't got she doesn't have to go to bed so early, so I can do this. So only Thursday will be regular time. Thursday night, the chat show. So we'll do it like in... I can't wait for Thursday either, T. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. I've got to give massive credit to Tea Party. I was trying to think of a topic that was going to be this week, and I simply couldn't think of one. I have one which I'm going to talk about. We're doing 2 topics this week, but it's going to be... Well, the first one is actually Tea Party's idea, and it's a fantastic idea. You're not going to know what it is until Thursday. We've got to keep some things secretive. But honestly, he did such a good job with coming up with that thing. I'd have never have thought of it. So massive props to the amazing, talented Tea Party Gaming for coming up with that one. Absolutely bloody brilliant. I don't know how I'd have done it without him, honestly. So great stuff there. Okay. He says, thanks, and I do try. All right, don't get a bloody big head, boy. No, but seriously, I seriously couldn't do it without him. I really couldn't. On a Thursday night, me and Tea Party turn into like the Bill and Ted of the internet. Okay, the Bill and Ted of YouTube. We party on, and everything is excellent. And no, I'm not going to do the Wild Stallions thing, so I don't think that's going to happen. Okay. So we've now got this massive area to play with. And also 3 people watching. Hello, third person, whoever you are. Say hello in the chat. I will say hello to you back. Let's get rid of these windows because we'll put new ones in. So now you see we've got a massive open area, a massive open space that we can use. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, open this up, but I think that's nice to have a little bit where you come indoors first. And also, I wish I could do something about these up here, but sadly you can't. What I'd love to do is be able to knock these down, but as you see, if I go to that... Definitely be excellent to each other, T. That's the way to be. Don't be a... Well, don't be a bastard, put it that way. Right, okay. So we've got a big old area here now where we can do a couple of rooms. So we could do 2 bedrooms there. I'm thinking, let's think about this. Entranceway at the back. 2 bedrooms here. Kitchen in there. That's a garage, but we could probably do something with it. Or alternatively, we have got this space over here. We could do a kitchen here, bathroom in one of these rooms, and a living room in the other. We could always, take up some of the garage for a bathroom or something. It ain't going to take much, but we'll see how we go. So let's get this place cleaned up first, and then let's get it happening. Okay, we'll try and do some tomorrow, but like I said, it's birthday week here on Flawless Rage 2, so I'm not going to be doing too much. I actually plan to have the hi-fi system on tomorrow, so that's going to be fucking amazing. So how much room would I need here? I could just make that one big bedroom, but I don't really want to do that. We want to keep it, want to keep it nice somehow. If I put that there, I don't quite know how we're going to get away with that. What have we got? We've got one at the side. Let's see if we can equal this out a bit. As they lined up there. Yes, they are. Right, okay. Shit. Didn't want to do that. Didn't want to put a 3 there. Indeed, T. Indeed. I know. And the cool thing is I get to celebrate it with awesome people, so, that's always a bonus. Beautiful stuff. Thank you, old bean. Thank you, jolly old chap. What? Okay. We can do 2 bedrooms out of this. They might be a bit small, though, but it don't really matter. I'm going to roughly guess the size, and I'm going to go, say, here. To split them down the middle. That's lovely. That could actually work. We can make it happen in there. Because in the 80s, a lot of people didn't have TVs in the bedroom. Believe it or not. I know. Tragic, isn't it? But it's true. It's how it was. You didn't have TVs in your bedroom. It was a different time. It was the music was different, and a lot of the big artists. Some of them are still going, but a lot of them are either not recording anymore or have passed on now. But a lot of the artists, the music was different. It was innovative at the time, and that's what people liked. We wanted that. I'll stick the door there. Movies as well. That's where a lot of the original movie ideas come from, the 80s. I mean, okay, yeah, movies have been going since what? The late 18th century? But still, a lot of like the classic 80s movies were brought out then, like Ghostbusters. One of my favorites of all time. Always have been a Ghostbusters fan, always will be a Ghostbusters fan. That was brought out in the 80s, 1984, same year I was born. Then you got, oh God, like Top Gun. The original Top Gun was 86. Lethal Weapon. So many good films brought out in the 1980s. And, it brings a good bit of... it brings a good bit to movies and stuff. Of course, we know who you're going to call, T. Right. Okay. Yeah, we can definitely do that. So we need to make a living room. Oh, yes, Tea Party. Good boy. Back to the Future. Yeah, there's another classic one. That was 1985. Just so many. Even Ghostbusters 2, believe it or not, was the 80s. It was 1989, but of course that was still the 80s. I actually went to see that in the cinema with my sister. I saw it in the cinema twice. One of my sisters took me to see it when it first came out, and then another one took me up there to see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but that had actually stopped showing. So instead of a wasted trip, my sister said, "Do you want to, do you want to see something?" I said, "Yeah, Ghostbusters too." And she's like, "Haven't you already seen that?" I said, "Yeah, but I'll see it again." So I'm thankful I got to see that twice in the cinema, which was epic. Should this be a living room, or should this should be a living room, shouldn't it? Really? Okay, bathroom here. Then I'm guessing that's going to be interesting. I'm going to have to put some sort of a glass door on that. Is it facing anywhere people can see in? No, it isn't. So it is going to be. Are going to have a bit of privacy there. So because you don't want people looking in and seeing your naughty parts, do you? Unless you're into that sort of thing. I mean, I'm not judging anyone, you know. But the Goonies. No T's name in movies. But yeah, music and that from the 80s was different. So different. No TVs in the bedrooms. There was no mobile phones at all. You didn't have any of that shit. You had nothing. You knew when it was time to come in when the street lights outside came on. And then it was time to get your ass home and get indoors. And there was also a lot more respect back then as well for parents and their kids, back then. It was a completely different time, but it was such a good time as well. T, stop naming movies, I know. But yeah, it was a different time, but it was a good time. And a lot of people think, oh, the music of the 80s was so shit, I didn't like it. That's because they don't understand the evolution of music and how it's progressed and what was before. Believe it or not, you guys out there don't know it. Unless you know music like I do, you don't know it, but you're actually listening to a lot of 80s music in current hits today. What do I mean? Samples. A lot of stuff is sampled from 80s songs, whether it be hip hop, whether it be pop music, whether it be rap, anything. Whether it be just absolutely anything. People make the tracks and they're now being sampled, and so you've still got a lot of 80s stuff about, which I think is pretty cool. I like it. I think it's a really, really good idea to do that sort of thing. But now I think we're ready to decorate. Now things are in here, so finally we can get on with this. So we need to think about 80s colours. Like I said, not everything was bright in the 80s. Some of it was actually mostly drab. So I'm going to go with flooring. I'm going to go coverings, and I'm going to go your typical 80s carpet, brown. Believe it or not, this was a thing. Also, technology back then as well was, you might think, what, when I say this, but so much better than what they got today. Think about it. You get something today that runs on batteries, and you think about the technology you got today. It runs on batteries and stuff, and how things are built. I mean, back then you could pick up a decent hi-fi system, and if you kept hold of that, and that, chances are that thing's still going to fire up today and perform just as good as it did back then. Okay, yeah, you might need to clean some contacts on the on some pots, and you might need to do some other work to it, but it's You know, it's really good. It is really good how things was back then. You get something today, and it's so cheaply fucking made that it doesn't last. Batteries don't last. Fucking just a lot of the technology don't last. I mean, you get a record player from back then, for instance, and it was jam packed with fucking capacitors and resistors and a lot more metal stuff. It was actually made of metal bodies of cabinets and hi-fi systems and stuff were made from metal. These days, it's all plastic. All plastic. And it's a very minimal amount of stuff. But we didn't have Bluetooth speakers back then. If we wanted to listen to music back then, we'd have a boombox, also called a ghetto blaster, and we'd have, you know, there wasn't really CDs about. They did come about in the 80s, CDs, but it was mostly records and tapes and 8-tracks. If you don't know what 8-tracks are, search them up. They're basically still a tape cartridge system, but they're endless loop. So think of it that, you know, think of that. You know, a great technology that still works today. Yes, a lot of the things, you know, need replacing them and stuff, but you can replace them, and these original things can still work. I have records in my record collection, like Jackson 5 and stuff, that on the back of the sleeve it says also available on cassette and cartridge. The cartridge they're talking about is 8-track. Absolutely amazing stuff. Now, we need to think about this. What are we going to pair with a brown carpet? 80s walls. You're looking at something like Young Flower Bud. Got a lot to paint down here, so I'm going to put 3 cans out. And as I'm down here, I'll start down here. Also, cars from the 80s. Cars. There weren't none of this electric car bollocks out there back then. There just wasn't. There wasn't electric cars. There was proper cars with proper engines that ran properly. There weren't a lot of this fuel-injected stuff. There probably was some about. But it was mostly sort of like your engine and a carburetor. And, you know, it was simple. People back then, when they worked on cars, didn't need diagnostic equipment because they don't know what the fuck's wrong with it. They got their hands dirty. They recognized problems. They thought about what can cause that problems, got a list of what it could be, checked those things, then fixed it. Not sort of like nowadays, take a car into a garage and some monkey boy plugs in a fucking, you know, thing into the the car and says, "Oh, it's this." It doesn't need to be told. Back then, you know, it was done properly. Carburetors had to be set up. You know, yes, they might have been a bit lumpy at times, but they worked, you know? And that's why I think in places like the US, the hot rods and stuff are popular, pickup trucks are popular, because 9 times out of 10, they're ones from the 70s or 80s, and they've got a decent fucking engine in them, and do you know what? They're still running. Or if they haven't been ran in years, they'll come back to life. Would today's generation, I'm going to sound so old now, but would today's generation know what points and condensers are? Do they know what a spark plug is? Do they know what a rotor arm is? Probably not. A distributor cap. You know, there's all sorts of things to think about. I grew up around it. I grew up around proper cars. That's why I know all this fucking stuff. I'm not the only one who knows it. Anybody from that generation knows it as well. And most of them became mechanics. Why? Because they loved it. They loved the problem solving. Now it's like, oh, let me plug this in. Okay, so it's this, it's just shit. And electric cars, I'm sorry, but they're not cars. They're fucking glorified go-karts. TV shows. Let's get on to them. You could get away a lot more than you could back now. TV shows. Let's name some 80s TV shows. The first one that pops into my head, Only Fools and Horses. Great classic comedy that a lot of the time they wouldn't really show on TV now, because some of the stuff that was said on there wouldn't be accepted. It just wouldn't be accepted now. It just wouldn't be tolerated. People would, the woke brigade would come out in force and be like, "Oh, you can't say that. I'm so offended." Nobody fucking cares, Doris. You know, at the end of the day, no one cares if you're offended or not. I certainly don't. Let's get some ceiling lamps going here. So what can we think of 80s style? They were quite flamboyant back then. Things like that. They were basic as well, though. So what can I go for? I want to go for that. I'm going to go for it and just see what it looks like and see how bright it is. Because we've got to put a few down there. Oh, he just mentioned a classic. Tea Party now come up with one. The Young Ones, the great Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson. Classic comedy. Would not be accepted now at all. That looks all right. I'm keeping it. That looks great. I'm keeping it. Lovely. Right. So there is our basic of there done. All right, they're going to be bedrooms, aren't they? I want to get the living room sorted out, which is going to be this one. It's a long way to answer your bloody front door, like, but we could smash that wall through and bring it back a bit, couldn't we? But I'm not going to do that. Fuck that. Yeah, it's going to be a kitchen. So let's do this as the living room area in here. Any lights in here? Any light switches? No. So we need to put one in. That's good, because we could put a light switch in. TV shows we were talking about, weren't we? 80s TV shows. Knight Rider. Even the Dukes of Hazzard was running in the 80s. It ran until 86. The A-Team. Oh, what else can we think of? Even things like kids' cartoons, man. You know, so different. I mean, I've got to think of cartoons now I used to watch when I was a kid. Banana Man, Super Ted, The Magic Roundabout, ooh, what else? Then again, The Magic Roundabout is a bit creepy because Zebedee looks fucking high as a kite. What else? Tiswas. Scooby-Doo, as Tea Party said. Yes, Scooby-Doo. Good, that's a good one. 2 likes. Thank you for liking. One of them's from T, and whoever you are who dropped the second like, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Cheers, my friend. What else? Rainbow. That was another kids one. I don't know if I said Super Ted, Banana Man. Fuck me. There's just so many out there. Looney Tunes. Yeah, Looney Tunes have been about for a while, to be honest. We've got to do the living room, won't we? And there's a switch in here now. Right. What else can we think of? I don't know if it was 80s exactly. It might have been into the 90s, but I'm going to say Airwolf. That was quite good, though. That was quite good. My favourites in the 80s were Dukes, Knight Rider, and A-Team. They were my top three. Starsky and Hutch was like 70s. I don't know if they reran it in the 80s or not, but that was sort of like, it was a good show. But I mean, if it was on, I'd watch it. Even now, if it was on, I'd watch it. You know, um, so many, so many things for the 80s that you could just think of that was just so bloody good. And where has it all gone? It's gone now. It's just gone to shit. It doesn't exist anymore. Okay. There weren't no computers back then. There weren't no nothing. Just nothing. And yet we had fun. Toys were built properly. Electronics were built properly. I'll tell you something, right? And this is a true story, no bullshit. My mum, when I was growing up, my Toshiba ones, the RT big old one. I remember that from when Lady Pam 2000 says she dropped a like. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, I remember that when I was little, and it was like it was a Toshiba TV, and do you know what? It lasted all the way up until I was like, I want to say about 12 or 13. Then my mum gave it to my sister, and it still worked for a few years. And then she got a TV and gave it to her friend, and it still did him a few years. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Brilliant stuff. You just don't get that nowadays, though. Okay, I want flooring. Instead of talking about the 80s, I really need to be getting this house done. Right, okay. What other colours should we go for? Let's go for, we've done brown. For a living room, we're going to go beige. There was actually quite a lot of beige about then as well, to be fair. Right. Shit, I know one about the 80s that I could mention. A TV show. Does anybody in the who's watching live right now or watching this later, does anyone remember a guy called Timmy Mallet? Anyone know who he is? He had a TV show, a kids' TV show called Whack-A-Day. And this really annoying pink fucking hammer on there that used to keep coming up Mr. Mallet all the time. And it was annoying back then. But now I think about it and like, I'd love to watch an episode of that again, you know? I know it makes me sound fucking old and I don't give a shit, you know? Hey. Blue with green? Should we do a green or should we do something else? I got 5 people watching. We're doing an 80s themed house. Pick the colour for the wall. Leave it in the chat. Pick the colour for the wall. What are we going to have? We've got beiges, we've got pinks, we've got purples, we've got orange, we've got peaches, we've got reds, we've got blues, we've got fucking all sorts. T says white. Any more for any more? Ten seconds before I do it white. 9, 8, 7. Whoa. Paula Mendoza. I hope I spelled your name right there. Thank you for joining. Says, hi, I am from Colombia Co. Well, I'm thinking that's Colombia there, so I'm reaching you out in Colombia. Welcome to the stream. Let us know. Let us know sort of like where you are from. I know where Tea Party's from. He's literally 10 minutes away from me. But let us know where you are from, and also something interesting. What time is it where you are right now? So it looks like we're going to go white. White walls it is. Okay. Well, they are pretty much white, but they do need a freshen up. The beige and white work together? If this doesn't work, blame T. Right, okay, here we go. We're going to start painting. This is supposed to be white, and it's just not. We're going to go with it, though. Fuck it. Okay. Indeed. Welcome to the best channel on YouTube. I know everyone says that, but here on Flawless Rage 2, we don't disappoint, and there is no filter on this channel. We say what we want, and we say what we think and think what we say. Okay. But yeah, this house will be definitely doing tomorrow night as well, because there ain't no way we're going to be getting in much of this done tonight. I want to get this living room done tonight, at least before I come off. And literally just check and see, you know, what we got to do outside and what needs to be done really around this place. It's going to be a busy one. And if we don't get it finished and it becomes a 3-streamer, which is very rare, then I'll do the rest next week on this, because there's new DLC coming out this week for this. That's why I want to do another night. And also it's birthday week, so why the hell not? Not the channel, me. Right. I don't think I've been across that wall, have I? I don't even know anymore. Okay, maybe I have then. Oh, hang on, it's new wall, so it doesn't matter. Okay. So we've got them as windows, so we don't really need to put any windows in, which is good. Right. First thing we do is get some lighting in this thing. Lights. We want lights, lights, lights. Ceiling lamps. We're going to go for a wicker ceiling lamp. That's quite 80s. A lot of people had them. Chandeliers. But I think they're more of a 90s thing. So let's go a couple of these and let's do them in that yeah, go on. Let's do them in that sort of colour. Let's put them on. Okay, they've got like the right sort of tinge to them, they say. So yeah, we'll go with it. I think that one's a bit too close to the wall though, so I might just get rid of that and just adjust that a little bit so it isn't glaring so much on that wall. Bring it out to about here. How's that looking? That's much better. Much, much better. Okay, so now we need to think about this living room area. What's going in it? Well, the first things first, we're going to have a fireplace. So I need to find them now, wherever the hell they are. I might just type it in, actually. Save a bit of time. Right, I've got fireplace. Okay, so we want... Let's see, these is quite, you know, reminiscent of the time with a mantle on top. But I'm not entirely convinced. That one's okay. This one actually says corner fireplace. And it is designed for a corner, but oh my lord, it's massive. If I get this in the corner, I'm going to be the champion of the fucking world. We got it in. And we put it on. Holy shit, that works. Okay, that looks actually pretty good. So you got some nice smoke effects and stuff on there. Really cool. So we could put a sofa. Oh, hang on. Let's get a rug down first. We need to get a rug down. That's important. They were quite big back then. Some things from back then still stand, you know. They really do. T, or whoever's watching, can you name any 80s TV shows that I haven't already mentioned? Get a couple of rugs down there. Now we need some furniture. Oh shit, don't want to go there. Furniture. Living room tables. I mean, these are like coffee tables, aren't they, really? Do we have anything that we can put a TV on? I mean, that would work. It's a coffee table, but it would work. Do we want to go with that? I see how it looks like. That will actually work, to be fair, for what we've got to put on it. The Two Ronnies. Yeah, good one. Another good one. Any more? Can we think of any more? We'll put some artwork up in here in a minute as well. We ain't done yet. I usually do an hour. I've done 47 minutes. I ain't done yet. Right, we want electronic equipment. Now, we've got a retro TV here. The thing about that one, that's more sort of like your 90s style. That's more of like a 90s TV, so I can't really use that. I know there is one. Here it is. Open all hours. Yeah, another good one. There we go. There's your TV. That works. It's just a backlight, but it'll work. Okay, fair enough. We'll go with it. We'll go with it. Let's get a sofa in there now so people have got somewhere to sit. Sofas, we need something that's going to be the style at the time. We could use one of these leather ones. We could also we could get away with that. It's got a bit of a more of a 90s vibe to me, that one has though. But we can always change the colour of these to what can we go for? Okay, that just works for me right there. What you'd normally have. It is 80s. That is 80s tea. Wurzel Gummidge, yeah. The late great John Pertwee in that. Great show. Absolutely fantastic. Let's see if we can get an armchair to match that, shall we? Living room, armchairs. No, we need something that's going to work with that. That's a leather one, isn't it? So, do we have? I mean, they've got this. Can we change that to the same color? Oh, it's close. You'd have that there. And might do a couple of lamps actually as well. You know, a lot of people miss the old days, but a cup of tea and a slice of cake. What are you saying? A TV show, or are you actually, um, saying what you're having tea? I know one that we could mention, a TV show. It's actually you would not get away with it now. It's a it's a show called Love Thy Neighbor. It was that you wouldn't get away with it now. It's actually quite a racist show. It was a comedy, but it was actually quite a racist show for what it was back in the day. You definitely you just simply would not get away with any of that right now. Rightfully so, but back then there were no sort of like barriers as there are now. I'm not saying that there should be anything like that on TV. Absolutely not. Racism is fucking disgusting. But that's what it used to be. We used to have that. Things like that. It was around then, and the unfortunate thing is that sort of thing being like that is still around now, and there's absolutely no fucking need for it whatsoever. And anybody who's doing it really needs to fucking check themselves, because it's simply not needed. And I think that now, things that are happening now out there, I just look at the world right now and think, why? Now, yeah, okay, it's my birthday currently, and it's my birthday now, and I'm not sort of like, and I don't care if I'm showing my age here or anything, but at the end of the day, you look around right now and you think, what the fuck is going on half the time? I sit there in the mornings with things like Good Morning Britain on and stuff, and I'm absolutely fucking shocked about what I'm seeing. You just wouldn't get away with it back then. Everything, I'm not going to say everything was better, because it wasn't. There was still shit and wars and stuff and that going on in the 80s and stuff, especially what the poor old Irish had to deal with. But, it's just insane. We're going to have one of these. Should we 80s this up a bit and make it like a insane color? Let's go green on the boombox. I don't know what else we could put on there, but yeah. It's just mad how things are now. Telephone, rotary telephones. Everybody had one. A lot of houses haven't got these anymore, landline rotary telephones or any landline phone now. Some places do, some don't. But they're not as big as they once was. This is quite minimalist. We really need to get some art on these walls now. And in a way, it's just sad, how things are now. Why do things have to be, like they are? Why can't things just be normal? I mean, yeah, okay, define normal, but, you know, it's just insane how things are now. It really is. Most of the shit that we see now, though, guys, isn't even needed these days. You know, all these fucking stupid things that are going on. It's like, you just look at it and you just go, really, dude? I can't hang up anything on the fireplace. That's annoying. I know I sound old, T, but it's the truth. Honestly, I'm preaching here. You know, it's how it used to be. Your parents, if they were in the 80s, ask them. They'll probably tell you the same thing. You know, at the end of the day, that's how it was back then. This is actually quite a nice living room, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to leave it at that living room area. So we've got that done. That's really cool. What else needs doing up in this place? Bedroom. Another bedroom needs doing. We need to do a bathroom. And we need to build a kitchen in the garage. So we've still got a fair old bit of work to do in this place. Let's take a look outside, see what we've got to do. So, yeah, there's actually quite a lot to do out here. Trees have got to be taken out. I mean, yeah, you talk to your parents about it, just like you said there, T. You know, it's what it was like back then. Things were so much cooler. I'm not saying the hairstyles was, but, you know, back then it was. I mean, 80s, you know, icons were formed in the 80s. A lot of people from different generations have their icons. People from the 50s and 60s, you know, have people like James Dean, Roy Orbison, Elvis Presley, people like that as their icons, their idols, their legends. 80s, you got George Michael Jackson, who's my personal, you know, idol. Absolutely adore MJ. You know, we have him from the 80s. Whitney Houston. We have Freddie Mercury. People like Nick Kershaw, bands like Bucks Fizz, bands like A Flock of Seagulls, people like, you know, I mean, there's some people out there who like Rick Astley, you know. Tea Party's mum used to be one of them, no joke. You know, there's a whole plethora of things. Debbie Harry's another one, the lead singer of Blondie. Fantastic. Meatloaf. Started off in the 70s, but went through. Absolutely fantastic stuff. This is things that this is things that, you know, we ain't ever going to get back. In kind of a way that's sad. And people always say, you got to move on with the times. Dude, live like you want it to be. There's people who actually live their lives like they're in the 60s, like they're in the 70s. You know, because it was a simpler time back then. I'll tell you what, I'll even do something, right? Because it's my birthday today. I will even do something. In a minute, I'm going to stop work. I'm going to look for a price list from the 1980s compared to now. Well, not compared to now, but you'll get a rough idea of what it was now. These are UK only prices I'm going to be looking for. So you'll have to work them out in your own currency if you're watching from somewhere else, what they used to be. But that's going to be quite interesting to see. I just want to get a few of these trees down to lighten the load a bit. Okay. I'll take 2 more trees down, then I'm going to look for a pricing list. Tea Party says concert tickets were cheaper back then. Everything was cheaper back then, T. I mean, even shops were about back then. Think of shops that were about back then. Andy's Records, Our Price Records. There are some still about, but I remember the night I went to see Ghostbusters 2 for the first time with my sister. We went to Wimpy Burger. I know there are a few Wimpy places still about, but it's mostly Mackie D's and Burger King now, although McDonald's was big back then as well. McDonald's has been around since, like, I think the 50s. So, you know, McDonald's has been going a long time. But you think about it. I love it. I think it's absolutely great. I think the 80s are absolutely great. Right, we're stopping work. And I'm going to quickly do a price list. I'm going to look for one. And we're going to see. The first thing that comes up is messages from Tea Party Gaming. Who the hell is he? Tea Party Gaming? I don't even know. Some dude. Right. Okay. So I'm going to go 80s. UK. Price. Right. This is 1980 prices UK. Okay. So how much do things cost in the 1980s? Let's click this link. I know this is a live stream on House Flipper, but this is kind of fun, so we're going to do it. There we go. Right. A gallon of petrol was £1.28. A bottle of whiskey was £5.29. Now it says it's about £19. A bottle of sherry, Harvey's Bristol Cream, £2.59. Now it's £9.30. 4 cans of Tuborg Pilsner, 99p. Back then, now £3.50. A large loaf of bread, 36.5p. Now averaging to about £1.30. Right, here we go. A 20-inch Bush colour TV, £259.95. Now, with inflation adjusted, that's £930. A 12-inch Bush portable black and white TV, £66.95 back then. Now about 240 quid. A Casio FX81 Pocket Scientific Calculator, which you could buy, it says here, from back then from Boots, was £12.95. Now, inflation adjusted, 46 quid. These are all inflation adjusted, so if these things were coming out now, this is what the prices would be. I'm going to do a couple more. Oh, here we go. Here's one that I'm interested in. Hitachi stereo cassette tape recorder, £79.95. Now, with inflation adjusted, 270 quid. Let's get a can of Coke from Tesco's, 16 pence. With inflation adjusted, 57p. And here I've actually got one for a car here. A Ford Cortina 1300L. Back then, 4,350. With inflation adjusted, now it's roughly about £16,000. It goes to show, doesn't it, the prices. That's just a few prices there from the 1980s about what things used to cost. Insane stuff. I have records that came out in the 80s, like Michael Jackson records, right? And you can see the price tags on them. And it says, like, our price, $4.99. A fiver for a record. What are a brand new record going to cost you now? Between 20 and 30, even going up as far as near 50 quid for a record now. It's fucking insane, guys. It really is. But that's with inflation adjusted and stuff. You've got to think. You know, you hear them prices and you think, if I was, you know, I mean, don't get it twisted. It was still just as hard back then. You know, you weren't earning as much back then as you do now. I mean, the average wage back then was like what? Maybe about 80 to 100 quid a week. That's not bad money, but, you know, it's just so fucking expensive now. Now you can't fucking pay for, you know, you can't, no one can afford anything now. It's ridiculous. The most cheapest things are becoming most expensive, and it's fucking wrong. I mean, you'd be able to get a portion of fish and chips or something, and it would be like, I don't know, you're paying, in the 80s, you're probably paying near about 2 to 3 quid, maybe even cheaper than that. Now, you're paying over a fiver just for a piece of fish. That could be to do with stocks in the sea. That could be to do with import duties and stuff. It's fucking nuts. So we honestly do have to thank the 80s for some things, though. We have to thank them for the movies, the music, the TV shows, the comedy, and the things like that it introduced us to. But like I said, some things, it's not all sort of like, oh, the 80s was the best time in the world. Not necessarily. There was still shit happening back then. What's wrong, T? Tell us what's wrong. It's wrong how it's got now. I completely agree with you. It's... Honestly, when you think about it, it's fucking nuts. You know, it really is fucking stupid how things have got now. It's just greed. That's all it is. It's just greed. I always thought to myself, people celebrate everything. Why don't we have a 1980s day where everything, prices of food, records, everything, just for one day, go back to how they used to be in the 80s. Imagine the prices that we would see. Imagine the things that you'd be able to get if they did one day like that. Everybody in this country would be able to fill up their freezer for near enough like a tenner. You know, maybe 20 quid, maybe it's a little bit more than that, I'm not entirely sure. But that's a rough estimate. Think about how fucking nuts it's all got. I'm doing a fucking debate and chat show on my own here, shit. You know. But no, I'm going to sort of ranting on about how the 80s were now, but, you know, it's just insane when you think about it. It really is. And do I sound old? Yeah, probably. I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, you know, I remember how things used to be. I remember 90s prices. You know. I mainly thank the 80s for the things that came out. Then, like they say, the movies, the music, the TV shows, the comedy. Because, that is some of the best out there. Not entirely the best, but it's some of the best out there that you're ever going to see. Back then, stunts were performed by either stunt people or the actors doing their own stunts Still a few actors do that now. But 9 times out of 10 now, it's all been CG'd. You know. Yes, they create insane, amazing effects on screen, the CGI. But things back then were sort of like, wow, you know, groundbreaking at the time. You watch a film like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. That was released in 1988. I have an original of that on VHS. I can see it from where I'm sitting right now. That film was ahead of its time. I'm not just saying that because MJ is my favourite artist of all artists. I'm saying that because it's the bloody truth. You know. And I've also realised that I've randomly started cutting the grass and I don't know why. I wasn't planning to do this. But seeing as we're here, let's do it. I ain't finished yet. But don't get it twisted, a lot of shit went on in the 80s as well. Things like I say, the wars and that they had in Ireland, especially Northern Ireland. Also things like the AIDS epidemic, where people who had AIDS and HIV were sorely misunderstood. It's insane. Not everything about the 80s was great. Just a few things were. But we're going to make this into a 1980s house. And it's going to be fucking amazing. Well, at least me getting this done tonight saves the work tomorrow night, I guess. And we'll see how long we can go tomorrow night as well. If we don't get it finished tomorrow night, then I'll finish this house off next week. Because there is new DLC coming out on... hang on. 11. The new DLC is actually out on Thursday. We might be lucky because the streams are going to be late this week. So therefore we might be able to play it as soon as we get hold of it. Because it'll be early hours of Thursday morning and me and T don't stream till Thursday night. So we should be okay. We'll see how it pans out. And I'll keep you updated as we go. Right, fuck the weeds. I'm not taking them out just yet. I think it's time for me to quit. We've done 75 minutes, so I think... No, 73 minutes, sorry. So I think that's long enough. But my oh my, what have we got done? We can see it from here, our living room. Doesn't it look brilliant? Absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful, wonderful thing. This is going to be the bathroom. So we'll work on that tomorrow. All of this house now needs to be painted on the outside as well, or maybe just tiled or something. We're going to do it. But not tonight. My voice is going. I'm getting old. No. And we're going to go through it. So this is me now going to end it. So thank you all for watching this live stream. I'm going to end it here. Don't forget, this week is birthday week. We had a stream tonight. There'll be another late one tomorrow night. And then there will be one in the early hours of Thursday morning. And don't forget, Thursday night as well, there will be the Flawless and Tea Party chat show where we put the world to rights. And also you got your Vinyl Friday, but there will be bonus videos as well this week. So, how are you going to watch all this? It's very, very simple. Number one, support the best YouTuber ever. Number 2, don't forget to subscribe here if you're new. Turn on your post notifications to be notified every single time I upload a brand new video or stream. Also follow me on Instagram at FlawlessRage2. But for right now, guys, it is time for me to go. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care. And nothing else is left to be said tonight, but be you, be the real you, be the true you. And you can't really go far wrong. There's no point in being anything else, is there? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed tonight. I hope you enjoyed the chat about the 80s. And in the meantime, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Take care. And from me, good night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Bye.